Hello, my name is Easton Mead, Bond 602 of Phi Delta Theta Kansas Epsilon. And I was the Phi Chi educator, but am now the vice president. This year, we had an 83.3% retention rate, with 10 out of 12 signees initiating. While this is a lower rate than last year, the members who we did sign have completely changed our chapter for the better. A large contributor to this is our Phi Chi education program. This year, our fall Phi Chi took on officer roles within their class, those roles being president, secretary, events chairman, and treasurer. The purpose of this was to give the Phi Chi a hint of what being an active member officer was like. The Phi Chi events chairman worked with the Phi Chi treasurer to plan 2 events, a park cleanup and a Jeopardy Brotherhood event. In addition to these pseudo positions, the fall Phi Chi were encouraged to shadow the active members' positions, with a Phi Chi assigned to the secretary, president, social chairman, Phi Chi educator, scholarship chairman, recruitment chairman, and the treasurer. This proved to be a major success as our current treasurer, recruitment chairman, social chair, Phi Chi educator, and secretary all came from the fall class, making this our youngest executive board since refounding in 2022.
Hi, Elliot Johnston, Bond 607. I am the current awards chairman and scholarship chairman for Phi Delta Theta Kansas Epsilon. Last spring, our chapter posted a 3.09 cumulative GPA, which was a significant increase from years past. That number, unfortunately, dwindled to a measly 2.97 in the fall semester, which gave us a wake-up call that we desperately needed to get our academics in check before our successes became permanently tainted by poor grades. For this spring 2026 semester, I've built a scholarship program from the ground up. Now, I require weekly grade checks of our members, which helps to determine if a member is struggling with their academics. Any member who reports a D or an F in any class is required to complete 3 study hours by the end of the next week. These may be recorded study hours or attendance at one of the 2 study halls offered per week. To ensure that all members are getting the help that they need, not just the struggling ones, I've greatly increased engagement at these study halls by offering the scholarship chairman a budget to buy snacks and drinks for the study halls, as well as holding at least one of them per week at one of the local Emporia coffee shops. We've seen a drastic shift in our chapter's academic success for the better this spring, with only 6 out of 24 active members reporting a semester GPA under a 3.0.
Hello, my name is Logan Griffin, Bond 604, and I'm the current philanthropy chairman for Phi Delta Theta, Kansas Epsilon. In the fall, during homecoming week, our chapter puts on a philanthropic event, which we have built a legacy on, known as Pulse-It. This year marked the 40th anniversary of Pulse-It and the 41st anniversary of SOS Foundation in Emporia, Kansas, a local domestic violence shelter which all the proceeds from Pulse-It go towards. From the start of Friday on homecoming weekend to noon on Saturday, our chapter fundraises money at the front of Main Street. Last fall, we were able to raise over $14,000 for the SOS Foundation. In the previous year, we raised $12,000, in part due to the legacy our chapter has made with the event, and as well thanks to the dedication of members within the chapter to fundraise. We were able to surpass the previous record. For this commitment, our chapter was given a legacy award from the SOS Foundation for continuous fundraising for a year since after the branch in Emporia was founded. During the spring semester, our chapter raises money for another organization, the Live Like Lou Foundation. For the past 4 years, our chapter has put on an event in March known as Love Like Lou. The event raises both money and awareness for ALS research. We raise awareness through having guest speakers discuss the impact of ALS, as well as how the Live Like Lou Foundation allows for funding to be raised toward the fight against ALS. This past March, our guest speakers were Kelly Tramer, someone with first-hand experience of ALS, who delivered a powerful speech talking about how ALS impacts her and how she has been able to fight it for several years. This marked our 2nd year volunteering with our ALS family, and our chapter will continue to help them in whatever ways we can. Our second guest speaker was our provincial president, Dr. Anthony St. Clair. He gave a wonderful speech the previous year, and this year he continued that trend, discussing the impacts of the Live Like Lou Foundation and Iron Phi. Our chapter raised $4,400 this year for the Live Like Lou Foundation. While this amount is a decrease compared to the previous year, the consistency we have been able to achieve in raising money for the Live Like Lou Foundation is something that I'm proud of my chapter for. As well, from the Love Like Lou, we are able to raise a lot more awareness in the local community about ALS. With over 40 guests attending the event, including family, alumni, and faculty, and from business running around Emporia for sponsors, we were able to further shed light on the impact of ALS. Iron Phi is another important program our chapter prides itself on and participating in attempting to raise as much money as we can for. Through the continuous effort of several members in the chapter, we have been able to raise over $2,200, and by the June deadline for Iron Phi, our chapter hopes and intends to raise $10,000, and thanks to efforts of our members, such as Cyprian Varner, who was able to raise $1,000 in the span of less than a week, our intent to become an Iron Phi chapter is focused. Many of the chapter are currently planning their Iron Phi events, and with the help of the awards chair, an Iron Phi presentation was put on to help members brainstorm Iron Phi event ideas. I feel confident my chapter will strive to raise as much as they can by the deadline, and I believe the chapter will continue to strive to all become Iron Phis. Our drive to become an Iron Phi chapter again is something all the members are focused on, and we hope by the end of June we will once again be a Triple Crown chapter.
Hi, Gavin Yakel, Bond 608. Last semester, I was our chapter's philanthropy chairman, and throughout the academic year, we held annual events for our community that our members were required to attend. For the last 2 years, the Kansas Bandmasters Association has held an annual marching festival here at Emporia State University. The event is large and needs a lot of help and a lot of hands on deck, so our members went out and volunteered to help judges run papers and run water out to the field, as well as going to the stadium after the day's events had concluded around 11 o'clock at night to clean up the stadium and make sure that it looked great for the people who needed to use it next. Around the fall time, we went to the William Allen White House here in Emporia to rake leaves and clean up the property. This event took a lot of our members, and it did take a little over a day to achieve, but once we were done, it looked great. Around the wintertime, once that had rolled around, it did start snowing as it does here in Kansas. So with that, we went around to more places in our community and shoveled driveways, parkways, and multiple different buildings in our community to make sure that they were nice and cleaned up for anybody that needed to get out and travel around. Also during the winter season, our Fall Phi Kayak class had scheduled an annual park cleanup day to go and clean up some of the local parks, just find some trash, and kind of just get them looking nice. Community service is a core aspect of our chapter, and we are always looking for new ways to improve.
Hello, my name is Giancarlo Urenda, Bond 599. I currently serve as the Kansas Epsilon Chapter President and Alumni Secretary. This year, we saw a record increase in alumni engagement. With the influx of refounding fathers graduating, the Alumni Club and Housing Corps have been completely revived and given new life. As a result, our annual formal White Carnation saw greater engagement than ever before. We were able to reconnect with multiple alumni from the 2010s who this chapter had not seen since refounding, and our recent alumni absolutely stole the show with their speeches and insight. In addition to increased engagement, our alumni have also been involved in many of our successes this past year. Last year, our alumni club had been able to offer the active members a total of 7 named scholarships, each worth about $1,400. This year, our Live-In Advisor and CAB Scholarship Chairman Roger Heineken put every ounce of his effort into raising funds for these scholarships through the annual ESU Day of Giving. Thanks to his incredible fundraising work, the Alumni Club was not only able to give us these same awards, but in addition to that, 2 unnamed Man of Merit scholarships that are each worth $500. This and all of Roger's continual support and advising over the past year earned him the New Province Alumni of the Year award. Additionally, our CAB advisor, Scott Capes, won the New Province Advisor of the Year award. Many of our successes this year are in large part due to alumni engagement, and we hope to continue graduating exceptional members of society who can continually provide these incredible opportunities to Kansas Epsilon for decades to come.
Hi, Gabe Johnston, Bond 621, the active secretary. One of the most difficult aspects of this chapter from refounding until 2025 was our overall communication. Officers were constantly lost in their duties, members had no idea what was happening the next week, and almost everyone had our main group chat muted, which was our main source of communication, and most people had it muted, and officers would constantly be losing their documents. So to fix the communication issue, we introduced two major systems to the chapter. The first system that we introduced was a chapter Google Drive, where every officer was given a folder and encouraged to put transition manuals, important documents, and any other information into their designated spot. This way, all members could access the documents when needed, officers had a place to keep their positions organized, and confusion was significantly lessened. The second and more impressive change that the chapter implemented was an app called Our House. This was recommended to us from the local Tri Sigma chapter, and it has features for things like attendance, polls, a calendar, study and service hours, and much more. Most importantly, however, the app has features for communication, allowing us to make group chats within so that general information can be sent to the all members chat, for example, and committees have their own group chats within the app. This has cleared up a lot of the issues that communication has been giving our chapter and has allowed for us to be more fluid and consistent as a whole.
Hello, my name is Quentin Lofquist, Bond 611. I'm the current chaplain of Phi Delta Theta Kansas Epsilon chapter. I'm here to talk about the challenges we've faced in the past academic year. The biggest challenge that we've faced this year is the dwindling number of older members. Last academic year, we congratulated 5 of our refounding fathers as they graduated and finally moved on to better things. Last semester, 1 more joined that group, meaning that 5 of the 8 refounding fathers that were active in the chapter in fall 2024 have now graduated. These members were the cornerstone of our chapter, the people who we would go to for advice, the ones that we trusted to get their jobs done. Of course, graduation is a natural process of college and fraternities, but these members were special as they built this chapter into what it is now. They were the faces of the chapter to the community since we were founded in 2022. As a result, this most recent election cycle produced 10 new executive board members. We elected 4 members from the fall 2024 class and 5 from the most recent fall 2025 class, meaning that this is the youngest executive board we have had since refounding and the first board without a refounding father on it. Up to this point, this board has seen great success, already overseeing the planning of our spring philanthropy event, the Love Like Lou Gala, as well as seeing an increase in grades, attendance, and alumni engagement, among many other successes. Unfortunately, as in most successes, a few problems presented themselves. 2 of our officers had been consistently fighting in public over the last academic year, and had even caused a few other FSL organizations to contact us about them. Despite efforts from the other members to intervene, these spats continued until the executive board decided that these members weren't representing us well to the public. The executive board, in an attempt to separate the two as much as possible within the chapter, made the rash decision to remove these members of their officer positions. About a week later, at an initiation, our province president, Dr. Anthony St. Clair, informed us that in removing these positions, we had in fact violated the code. In order to about-face, we explained the situation to the 2 members that had been fighting, and one of them was more than happy to withdraw from his position, as stress had been a leading factor in their fighting. The other member chose to keep his positions, and thankfully the 2 have indeed stopped butting heads. Obviously, this executive board and the chapter has a lot to learn about how they fit into each other. But despite our one major mistake, the successes have been numerous, and there is so much hope for the future in these young leaders.
Hello, my name is Sid Varner, Bond 622, and I am the current treasurer for Phi Delta Theta Kansas Epsilon. Emporia State University boasts over 80 registered student organizations. These range from athletic clubs to multicultural organizations to, yes, even fraternities and sororities. Every spring, the Associated Student Government accepts applications from every RSO for various awards and honors. The most prestigious being RSO of the Year, which comes with a $150 unrestricted fund. Last year, Phi Delta Theta was nominated for 2 awards but came back empty-handed. This year, we were nominated for RSO Champion for Campus Culture and RSO of the Year. Remarkably, Phi Delta Theta was the only Greek organization that received any nominations, and the first time in our history as an RSO on Emporia State's campus, we took home RSO of the Year. With $150 that we plan to put towards housing improvement, this award points to many of our successes, taking into account money raised for charitable causes, involvement on campus, and campus leadership, among several other criterias. Being recognized as RSO of the Year proves that we are the most competent and successful student organization on Emporia State University's campus.
It's